Today we're going to do a recipe collab again with my friend Babatunde in Nigeria. You may have already guessed this was going to be a Nigerian thing just by glancing at the ingredients here. This one's going to be a little bit different from the usual in that I'm going to revisit a recipe that didn't really work out very well for me last time. I'm going to try making jollof rice. So last time I tried this, I made a few mistakes, and what I ended up with was delicious, but didn't really have the right texture. And the reason for that was, well, there were several reasons for that. Firstly, I think I just used the wrong kind of rice. I used a quite short grain rice, and I probably should have just used a long grain rice. I don't think I cooked down the vegetable puree long enough, and as a result, when I added the rice, I had to stir it to stop it sticking on the bottom of the pot. It would have just burnt on the bottom of the pot, and so I had to stir it to stop it doing that. But stirring rice is not great if you want separate grains, and so I ended up with something that was a bit more like risotto. And during the cooking process, where I sensed that it was starting to go gloopy, I ended up overcooking it. Like I say, the end result was very delicious, but not quite right. So today we're going to have another go. To start things off, I've got some chicken wings, and to that I'm going to be adding a bit of curry powder, a bit of garlic powder, ground ginger, one of these little stock cubes, which I think you can just, that's it, roll in the packet and it comes out as a stream of powder. A couple of bay leaves. My neighbour pruned their bay tree again, so I got all the prunings and I've just left them to dry in my garage, and I've got 3 bay leaves, which is cool. Just going to add enough water to cover them and some slices of onion. So we're going to bring that to the boil and simmer it for about 20 minutes, half an hour. In case you're wondering, bit of a workshop boo-boo there. Don't try cutting sheet metal without using gloves, kids. Meanwhile, over here I've got half a red bell pepper, a nice plum tomato, half the onion, and I'm going to put some Scotch bonnets in there. I think probably 3 little ones. I am making a half-size portion today, so I'm actually only going to do this with 1 cup of rice, because I'm going to be the only one eating it today, since I'm kind of home alone at the moment. So just check these peppers are okay inside. They look fine. Yeah. So that's going to go in the food processor and blend down to a little bit of a sort of puree. Right. Good. Blending Scotch bonnets. So this time we've got long grain, easy cook rice. I think that's what Babatunde called parboiled rice. And I'm going to wash that in several changes of water. Like I say, I'm only cooking 1 cup of rice today, but that will make more than enough for my lunch. So this water's starting to be clear now, so I'm probably going to rinse it 1 more time and then done. And this chicken's been simmering in here for about 25 minutes now, so it's more or less cooked through. But I'm going to now finish it in the oven. I'm going to roast it today, or rather bake it, I suppose, really, in the oven, just because that's more convenient than deep frying for me. So that's going to go in the oven now for 20 minutes or so on 200 degrees centigrade, just to crisp up on the outside. So I'm going to use a different pan this time. I'm going to use a shallow non-stick pan, which hopefully will give the rice more of a chance to fluff up. First thing to do is fry some onions until they're crispy. Those onions are starting to crisp up a little bit now. So in with a good squeeze of tomato puree. And fry that off a bit as well. The vegetable paste now, which is fresh tomatoes, onion, Scotch bonnets. Now this is where I made a mistake last time. I didn't cook this down for long enough, and that's part of the reason the rice went sticky. So this needs to be cooked down to drive off some of the moisture from it, so we've got more of a paste than a soup. A little bit of fresh thyme from the garden. So this part here is a bit like a sofrito. Right, I think we're getting close to the point now where I can add the stock and other ingredients. So this is considerably cooked and dried out. Okay, I'm going to add 3 cups of stock. Okay, need to bring that to the simmer while we add in some more spices. So, garlic powder, ground ginger, curry powder, nutmeg. At this point we can also have a few more bay leaves. Taste for seasoning. That can stand a bit more salt, so I'm going to put in one of these stock cubes, which are quite salty, but also have a lot of other nice flavours too. I think we could have a bit more ginger and a bit more curry powder. Okay, that's good. So now, in with the rice. And try not to repeat the mistake of last time, which was stirring it too much. It will need to be stirred a little bit just to separate the grains and to get it to come together with the stock. I reckon we're about halfway through cooking. I can see the rice starting to swell. I'm resisting the urge to stir. I'm just going to simmer that as is, and I'm just going to put on top now, I've got some chopped red pepper, some chopped chunks of onion, and I've got some chopped carrot as well. I don't know whether this is authentic, but Babatunde said he likes to put carrot in his. He couldn't get it when he made the original version that I copied. Okay, I have given this one stir because the thing I forgot was butter. So the camera wasn't rolling. I've put some butter in there and I've just stirred it in. The rice is still not quite fully cooked. We've just got to drive off some more of this moisture, but we're getting close. Chicken's just come out of the oven now. That's golden and crispy. I think that's done. So I'm going to plate up and then we'll give it a taste. So let's just have a look and see. Yeah, the rice has actually burnt a little bit on the bottom of the pan, but that's sometimes actually quite nice. Well, I've still got quite a soupy texture, and I think that's probably just the amount of moisture I've added. But there's definitely a lightness to the rice this time. It's not all claggy and stuck together. That is separate grains, but albeit in a bit of a sauce. Okay, well, I'm reasonably happy with that. We've got separate grains. They're not all stuck together. They are in a kind of a sauce. But anyway, enough talk. What does it taste like? It's really good, and I'm happy that I think in terms of the flavours that I got last time, we've got the same blend of flavours in there. I'm happy that we got the taste right. Still not convinced I've got the right texture here, but it's a very, very tasty rice dish. So yeah, I'm reasonably happy with that. By the way, it's just lovely and spicy. 3 Scotch bonnets is just the other side of comfort for me. So this is a bit of a challenge in terms of heat, but I'm enjoying it. Probably 2 would have been enough for 1 cup of rice, but not to worry. I kind of get the feeling this might be a thing I need to keep on trying at until I get it completely right. So I do welcome your constructive criticism and comments and feedback in the comments section. Let me know what I could have done better here, and I'm probably off camera going to keep on trying this until I can actually do it properly and make the authentic version of it. But in terms of flavour, I'm really, really happy with that. Future shrimp here, and I just plated up the leftovers out of the pan for this jollof rice, and I think actually all I really needed to do was let this stand for 10 minutes before serving, because the rice has absorbed the residual moisture, and what we've got now is lovely separate grains that are not so much stuck together with the sauce. They're still coated and infused with all of those flavours, but they're not swimming in a sauce. So I think that's probably all I missed out doing here, is to let the rice stand for a few minutes before serving. Dunno, let me know what you think. So I hope that was interesting. Don't forget, this is a collaboration video. Babatunde's going to have a go at making something that didn't work out completely well for him. Check the link in this card or in the description if you're not on a card-enabled platform. And let me know how close you think I got to the real deal this time and what you think I should have done differently. Yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with that. And although I had this with chicken, I could very easily just eat a bowl of that rice on its own. So one interesting thing here is that although this dish is all about spices and strong flavours, the butter is actually one of the most important points, and I really noticed that this time around. The butter brings all of those other flavours together. I suppose a lot of those aromatics that are in the spices are fat soluble, so the butter is one of the important components here and actually brings the whole dish together. Anyway, as always, I'm curious to know what you think I should have done differently here and how close you think that was to the authentic version. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again soon.